Comrades, let's welcome Comrade Sibongile Pesani, who is an NEC NWC member of the African National Congress, also a deployee in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, and he is here to give us a message from the ANC. Comrade Pesani.
Long live the indomitable, undying, infatigable spirit of Comrade Pravin Gordhan. Long live. Amandla. Thank you very much, Program Directors, Comrade Nomagugu Smilane, the Deputy Provincial Chairperson in KwaZulu-Natal, and Comrade Mevi Govender, our veteran, the member of the Veterans League. Greetings to the family of Comrade Pravin Gordhan, in particular Umama Vanita and the daughters. And I must also pass greetings to the NEC members who are here, the provincial chairperson, Comrade Duma, officials in the province and all PC members, the leadership of the South African Communist Party present here, leadership of COSATU, leadership of SANCO, the ANC Veterans League, and all our stalwarts, the ANC Women's League, the ANC Youth League that is here, and all activists from the MDM structures, those who shared trenches with Comrade Pravin Gordhan in the NIC, from the TIC, and also in the UDF. The ministers and deputy ministers who are here, the senior public servants that are here, leaders of various faiths, comrades and friends. And let me hasten to say, protocol observed, in case there are those I have not been able to mention. A week ago on Saturday, I was in Mzimkhulu region conducting a political class. In that political class, I asked all those who attended, about 130 of them, a number of questions that they should write. And they wrote those, they answered those questions. One of the questions was, who is a leader in the ANC, who's your role model locally? That is in Mzimkhulu, in the region of Herigwala. And all of them actually answered the question, and I asked for those papers. During the week, as I analyzed the papers, went through those papers, the name of Pravin Gordhan on that question appeared, whereas the question was about a local leader in Mzimkhulu. That tells us a lot about the hero we are about to pay respect here today. On behalf of the National Executive Committee of the ANC, let me express and pass words of our deepest condolences, our sincere sympathies to the family, Umama Vanita Ratu and the daughters Anisha and Prayisha, and the broader family and friends. We dip our revolutionary banner to salute a veteran of our organization, a veteran of our movement, for we know his contribution to the liberation struggle and his sterling work in deepening our democracy. We have no iota of shame to declare that Comrade Pravin Gordhan, to declare him as a revolutionary par excellence. It is indeed true. It is indeed true that this is a great loss to the family, and equally, this movement has been robbed of a cadre and revolutionary activist of note. No amount of words can express the pain of this loss and its effect. The youth of this country, the youth of our movement, has been robbed of a fearless mentor whose wisdom would empower and enrich those willing to learn. His generation and fellow veterans have also been robbed of moments of reminiscing in joy the days gone by. There is no doubt that the broader liberation movement has been robbed of a cadre with attributes, skills, and expertise that are needed in these trying moments of our movement. This moment begs us to reflect in earnest about a man that this organization knows so well. It begs us to inform ourselves about moments we are facing today. It is a moment that that summons us to intensify the renewal of our movement. We make these exhortations because they define and characterize Comrade PG, as we fondly called him. Let me hasten to reflect on some incidents of a few days ago by inviting Victor Hugo, a French writer of centuries ago, on similar occasion in memory of another prolific writer, Voltaire. Victor Hugo says, and I quote, "On his deathbed, he had, on the one hand, the acclaim of contemporaries and of posterity. On the other, the triumph of hooting and of hate which the implacable past bestows upon those who have combated it. He was more than a man, he was an age. He had exercised a function and fulfilled a mission. He had been evidently chosen for the work which he had done by the supreme will, which manifests itself as visibly in the laws of destiny as in the laws of nature," close quote. Comrade PG is a congressman who defied death when he was still young and energetic. He refused to succumb to the chains of repression. He allowed his mind to transcend the windowless walls of prison. Therefore, he was not defined by the challenges he overcame, but by what he did for humanity to thrive. In fact, the death-defying character of Comrade PG only explains his resolve to apply his skills and expertise to better lives of our people. The struggle refined, chiseled, and sharpened Comrade PG. Consequently, he excelled in every assignment of his deployment. He retooled the South African Revenue Services to unprecedented levels. As a true cadre of our movement, he was unfailing in learning and thus gained the requisite technical skills which are rare to many of us today. This made him a knowledgeable public servant with deep sense of clarity of the South African vision for the future. Comrade Pravin was a public servant who understood the Freedom Charter beyond political rhetoric. He displayed his aversion for slogans through performing excellently in areas that demanded technical administrative prowess. Clearly, he paid attention to detail to a point of being pedantic. He was clinical and meticulous in executing his assignments as a bureaucrat. Through his excellent performance, the cadre policy of the ANC resonated and was accepted and did not earn a badge of negativity. As a finance minister, he enabled the democratic state to navigate testing situations thoughtfully and with ingenuity. In local government, he left no stone unturned to assert injunctions that sought to turn municipalities for the better. The era of back to basics cemented his intellectual prowess, his abilities and capabilities. He was a persistent character who never got tired of thinking. He displayed this character when he was assigned and deployed as minister in the public enterprises. Many of these entities were mired in and marred by corruption. Comrade Pravin was addicted to finding innovative ways to overcome challenges. As a revolutionary activist, Pravin Gordhan's heart and soul were always at the right place at the right time, meaning to always serve the people of this country unreservedly. Personally, I had many brief moments. For instance, I also served with him in the Finance Committee of the ANC. These brief moments were robust moments with him, especially in the line of duty. He always struck me as a very responsible minister and never avoided issues brought to his attention. In his assertiveness, he was also capable of mellowing into humility to a younger soul like myself. His assurances and his assurances to resolve challenges reminded me of one writer who said, and I quote, "The smile is wisdom. It disquiets the oppressor and it reassures the oppressed," close quote. As a political activist, a bureaucrat, and a politician in various ministries, Comrade PG remained a strong and a close friend of excellence. This is consistency, one of the defining characteristics, one of the defining attributes of an activist, a cadre, and a revolutionary professional. It is a well-known fact that at a personal level, Comrade Pravin was equally a resolute person. His measured tone and cadence were unrelenting in articulating his strong views and strong beliefs. His unassuming character made him a student of life to the end because he left nothing to chance. His intellectual temperament was always in tune. Therefore, his aversion to mediocrity, laziness, pitted him against fakes and underachievers. Another defining attribute of people addicted to excellence is intolerance to banal approaches to issues. These achievers are intolerant to lack of dedication and commitment to the task at hand. Yes, they can be very difficult in that sense. This also came out in Comrade Pravin's interaction with many of us. This is an attribute that is often mischaracterized as arrogance, especially to those without courage for self-introspection. We are unapologetically declare that Comrade Pravin Gordhan was excellence personified. In spite of and despite all these authentic accolades, Comrade Pravin was not perfect, nor a saint. He was a human being to the fullest. However, in his imperfections, he carried himself with dignity and integrity, and always as a loyal member of the African National Congress. He understood the essence and substance of the ANC's oath, which states that as a member of the organization, he will defend the unity, integrity, and its principles. In addition, he had internalized the ANC's oath, which states that a member should combat any disruption to the organization. His stance against corruption and state capture was extraordinarily unwavering. His intolerance for poor governance and corruption is at the heart of some of the toxic commentary that we saw and heard on social media during the last few days. Comrade PG called us to join the dots because he knew the stubbornness and sophistication of perpetrators of malfeasance. At this point, let me borrow from what President Tambo said at the occasion of receiving a Jawaharlal Nehru Award on behalf of Nelson Mandela, who was still in prison around 1979-1980. He said the following about Madiba, open quotes, "For more than 18 years, he has traveled and appeared nowhere. His voice remained unheard and his views unexpressed. In that time, momentous world events have occurred sufficient to put into complete oblivion anyone not involved into current of developments," close quote. For the purpose of this occasion, let me hasten to say that for a lifetime, Pravin Gordhan will travel and appear nowhere. As the ANC ventures into a new era, we dare not forget what PG and his generation fought for. In his honor, let us immortalize Comrade Pravin Gordhan through a true renewal of the African National Congress. Let us rebuild the ANC through activists who have clarity of what it means to serve people of this country and the continent. Activists who are built and produced by the struggles of the people. The ANC of activists will be the one that feels the pulse of society at every turn. Let us rebuild the ANC that will combat this pervasive tendency of acquiring positions at all costs, a tendency that manipulates organizational processes, a tendency that manipulates the youth through money for support, a tendency that fails to empower young people through just buying a book. Younger leaders like me and many others should embrace political apprenticeship, which is mentoring in the course of shaping the future for this country. This political apprenticeship is not a journey to stardom and celebrity status. It is about appreciating that the present is an account of our history and an indelible experience of sacrifice. The present is constructed on the shoulders of giants. To understand and internalize this is the step in the right direction. Therefore, to mock and ridicule the experienced and their wisdom is a path of mediocrity and a foundation of mediocrity and a step to nowhere. Comrades and friends, renewal of the ANC should rid us all of a practice that despises political mentoring. The know-it-all among some of us can only produce political offense. As we immortalize Comrade Pravin Gordhan, let us not allow the ANC to become a big political orphanage. In immortalizing Comrade Pravin Gordhan, let us rebuild an ANC that has leaders who immerse themselves with substance to the service of others. I mean leaders with leadership. Leadership is not a position. Leadership is a behavior and conduct. This conduct is about visionary leadership. If we do so, we will avert the dangers of one scholar called Roberto Mangabeira Unga says it is routine without reason. Let us renew and rebuild the African National Congress that has integrity to inspire every young person and every patriot who have skills to take this country forward. We should be an exemplary ANC whose prestige is undoubted. In this regard, we cannot be wanting on the issue of ethical leadership. We should remember that ethical leadership is behavior that is premised on principle. Comrades, as I'm about to conclude, let me say, the sun has set on the life of a true activist who served this country with distinction. We should not fear the nightmare that accompanies the dark night. Rather, we should be inspired that the first rays of the coming tomorrow will propel us into a better day. Comrade Pravin is entering a journey of being a worthy ancestor of this movement. Lala Ngotolo, long live the spirit of Comrade PG, long live. Amandla! Sekutalu Zabala! Sekutalu Zabala! Comrade Pravin Ngotolo, Pravin Gordhan Ngawulale Ngotolo. Pravin Gordhan Ngawulale Ngotolo. Sekutalu Zabala! Sekutalu Zabala! Amanda! Thank you.